Hello everyone, this is another podcast of the project EU for Youth to Act, which is an EU project which aims to promote active citizenship to young people, promote EU values, and also promote the voting for the EU elections that are going to happen in June. Together with you today, it's me, Panayiota from Emphasis Center, and also we have here three young people who will share with us their experiences and also their opinion when it comes to youth participation and active citizenship. Hello, everyone.
Hello from me. My name is Stelios. I'm from Cyprus. Studied criminology in UK.
Hello, I'm Effi. I'm from Cyprus also, and I studied sociology and I have a master's in advanced English studies.
And I am Andrea. I also study in the UK. I studied biomedical sciences, and now I am working in the green sector and in environment issues.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let's start with some basic question when it comes to the EU. I mean, you have heard, especially these last months, about the EU elections and that we need all of us to go and vote. So what does the EU mean for you? Because some of you, I think you were born before entering the EU. So can you think of any specific word that comes to mind when you hear European Union, for example?
For me, I will say European Union is a big family representing different states and countries that comes closer through this union in terms of exchanging knowledge, customs, culture, and financially as well.
I will add that it's 27 countries, if I'm not mistaken, in the European Union, and it approximately consists of the continent of Europe.
I would also add that to add to what Stelios said, that it's like a family that has common values and priorities such as the green transition, the digital transformation, the inclusion and diversity. So yeah, more or less a big family under this umbrella of values.
Great. Thank you very much for all your input. So you know more or less how the EU function. Do you know like the three main institutions or how a law will pass, for example, from the EU, or you're not familiar with that?
If I'm not mistaken, there are three bodies: European Commission,
European Parliament is another one,
and the European Council, if I'm not mistaken.
And do you know which one is for what? For example, for the people, which one is it?
I'm not sure which one is for which, but I think one acts with the citizens, the other one with the countries, and the other one is mostly about laws and legislation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you know specifically which one is for what or no?
Not me.
No.
I think European Commission is for legislation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the other two though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I always mix them up.
Yeah. Do you think that this is because it's like super complicated to understand, or is it because we lack of education when it comes to this, or lack of knowledge? For example, in school, do we have something like this to explain to us what each institution does, or do we need to have something like that, or do you believe it's not necessary at all?
I'm not sure if they are doing it now at school, because when I was at school, definitely it wasn't something like this. It was mainly around which countries are in the EU, how many countries, and the basic information, let's say. But regarding the regulating bodies, for example, I think it's important to say if more information definitely, and not just one of, let's say, in primary school and that's it, but to continue throughout your education. And because as Cyprus joined EU quite recently, let's say, I think it's important for the government as well to educate older people regarding the regulating bodies and more information about EU in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Do you remember when it was the the year of joining the EU? Cyprus.
2004.
Yes, it's true. It's 2004.
In 2007, the euro, I think,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
7 or 8. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think it was 8.
Yeah. So you're not familiar of like what the EU elections are about? I mean, why do we need to vote for the EU elections? No?
To be honest, I don't think it's a big part of our culture in Cyprus. So it's not very promoted to young people about their voting rights, in general, about their participation in anything that has to do with civic engagement. So I think it's very important and something that's lacking in Cyprus schools, and it should be promoted from a very young age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before going to civic engagements and participation that you mentioned, I wanted to ask you like personal question if you want to answer or not, if you're planning on voting for the EU elections or not.
For me, yeah, I always vote, and as far as as I'm aware, we vote for our representatives to the EU.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our vote is important because it's representing our countries as well, and you need a person there that will reflect your needs and values, because, as I said, they are representing Cyprus, and as young people, we have a lot of things that we want to raise with young people from other countries. So we want a person there that will represent our needs.
Mm-hmm. So you are going to vote?
Yeah.
What about you?
Personally, I would not, because I don't know how, let's say. I think we lack a lot of information about this issue in Cyprus, and I would blame the government and the society as well, the lack of education in the school systems. It's not an excuse, but actually, yes, I am not familiar with the way and how I can vote.
Yes, I will. I will, of course, vote in the elections. However, I want to raise something regarding this topic, because it's the way to register to vote is actually very hard in Cyprus. It's not easy. You can't go online and register to vote. So the process takes a long time, and young people are not aware of what they should do. So a lot of them that want to vote when the elections are closer, they no longer have time to register. So I think this is also something that needs to change, become digitalized, and in general the process needs to be more easy.
Yeah, it's true. I think the elections are in June, but the process of being registered, mm-hmm. I think it ended in mid-March or beginning of April. So that, 2 months where people or the candidates will promote themselves and their values and what they're going to fight for, let's say. It's like the last 2 months that they are going to explain themselves. But then if someone wants to go and vote for them, they cannot anymore because, as you said, the registration process is difficult, and I think it's closed now.
Yes.
So going back to what Effi mentioned about civic engagement, how will you define being a young person and being civically engaged?
I will say part of civic engagement is also share your values and your voice with the election. So taking part in this election is a form, let's say, of civic engagement. But I would also like to add something to what Effi said about the registration procedure. This year they did some good, let's say, initiatives with some leaflets and some campaigns on social media, but I think they could do more on this aspect, because you could see them for a few days and then they disappear. So promoting this will also engage more people taking part in the EU elections, but also promote this civic engagement aspect that we are discussing.
I also think it's very important to raise awareness to the general public and especially to young people of what Europe has to offer to each nation. For example, what does Europe offer to Cyprus, and what are the benefits of being part of the European Union, as well as what will be the daily tasks of the people we are going to vote and become members of the parliament. So I think that's also very important to increase the engagement of voters.
Okay, great. Anything else to add, Andrea? Something, or should I proceed with the next question?
I think the guys cover whatever I wanted to say as well.
Okay, so you said something really important, that there is no any awareness when it comes to how the EU functions, and also about civic engagement in general. How will you describe the involvement of young people in youth participation, not only in voting, but also in other actions of being an active citizen, such as volunteering, such as, participating in other ways of helping people in need, like vulnerable groups, seniors? How do you describe the involvement of these people? Do you know any specific initiatives that exist that they're related to active participation?
I know many initiatives, but the thing in Cyprus, I'm not sure if it's... I'm sure it's not the same in other countries, but in Cyprus at least, a young person, let's say, if they are looking to volunteer or give something back to the community, or find an initiative that they relate, let's say, with their values and they want to offer, unfortunately, they need to go and look for it and search to find these opportunities. It's not promoted and presented, let's say, and appears to you and say, I saw this and I think this aligns with my values, so I will go and offer here. You need to go and search, and sometimes you can't find it. So you need to go to festivals, for example, where they promote such initiatives. So you need to invest some time yourself to go and find them. And I think it's where we're lacking. They need to promote more those initiatives, and the associations and foundations that they are running this to come and reach young people instead of young people reaching to them.
I would completely agree with Stelios. I will say that if you ask me to name some, I can name like some organizations, let's say, about nature, because I like this kind of field, and this is why. And the reason behind this is basically because I search it for myself, because it's the thing that I like. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But it's basically what Stelios said. If you want to find something in Cyprus, especially in this field, you have to search it by yourself. You need to go into Google and basically type whatever you want to find. There are not some advertisements or something or in schools, basically, to teach you this kind of stuff.
So just to add to what Andrea just said, I think we should focus more on the school sector and try to promote volunteerism from a very young age. I personally don't know any initiatives regarding young people, let's say over 18, but the past weekend I met a family and I found out about an initiative called the Duke of Edinburgh, which this is done through the junior school, I think, or the senior school, and students have to spend a certain amount of time volunteering wherever they want, either if it's in a dog shelter or to help people in need or whatever they choose. And then they get extra credits for their overall mark, I think, at the end of the school year. So I think this is a good practice and a good example that we can follow in the public schools as well.
And just also to add, because I remember when Effi was speaking, I remember something. When I was in the UK and I was studying, I was involved in 3 volunteering, let's say, organizations, initiatives. And I was involved because they came to me. And I was like, oh, I am interested. But this never happened in Cyprus. So I can see the differences between the 2 countries.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would like to say that for me, at least, when I was younger, and I joined the Scouts. That was one way that I could take part in volunteering activities. So another way you can promote this volunteerism, as Effi said, is promote scouting as well, which is really useful.
Yeah, all the things that you mentioned are really important and useful. I mean, in order to develop some specific skills and to become active citizens. Can you name some of the benefits of being an active citizen? Some of the not only benefits when it comes to like offered to the society, but also the benefits, the ones that they're going to be developed, the skills that are going to be developed, for example, to a person who participates in such initiatives.
Definitely you are getting leadership skills, for example, communication skills, but I will say these initiatives are much needed because you can't just sit back and let others decide for your own life and the way that you are living. So if you want to make a change, you need to take a step forward and share your opinion and take action. So in this process, you will develop these skills as well.
Any other skills that you want to add?
I would say decision-making skills. As Stelios mentioned, socials, everything that has to do with social skills.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think these kind of skills, they're also helping you personally to find a better job, let's say, and in employment. And generally it's really helpful for you as a person to socialize with other people in general.
And also you get to feel like you're part of the community, and that I think is a very it has a lot of benefits for young people to have this sense of community, especially after the COVID crisis and all the isolation. So I think it's very important.
Great, thank you very much. Do you have anything else to add? Not for only this question, but in general, or no?
No.
Great, thank you very much. It was really interesting having you and having this conversation. So thank you everyone for your attention. This was another podcast episode of the EU for Youth to Act project. More are coming. Thank you for your attention.